Next is the Nike Fuelband SE. So this is the update to the
second gen, yeah.
Second gen. First of all, what do you think of the first one?
I really liked it. I think they were one of the first people to come out and do it, actually sort of turn a pedometer into something that's really exciting. The design is fairly sort of iconic. It's a bit like the charity wristbands, and the single button, it was simple to use. I thought it was a really nice kind of step forward in terms of fitness and activity tracking.
So design-wise, it looks pretty much the same as the original.
They haven't changed it really yet. A few new kind of colourways, so you can get this yellow, there's a pink one. You can still get the standard black one, but they've sort of jazzed it up a bit. But in terms of how you charge it with a built-in USB connector, and the overall band, it's the same single button on the top, and that really quite nice LED screen on the top as well.
How's the fit? Is it, because you can't change, can you change the size of this one?
Yeah, you can swap out, it comes in different sizes, but you can also get extra segments to put in if you want to sort of flex the size.
How is it to wear? Because you have these on every day, so it's really important whether, if it's uncomfortable to wear, then you're just going to take it off, aren't you?
It's reasonably comfortable. It's not as comfortable as the Vivo Fit, because that's flexible and it will fit to your wrist and it will move around. This is one of the things I found with this is if you go to work in a shirt, it's really hard to get the cuff of a shirt done up over that. If you wear cufflinks, it's a tricky business trying to get those in.
Because they want you to show it off though, isn't it?
I know,
they want you to show off the one, and then someone will go like, "Oh, what's that?"
But then you've got the cuff. One of your sleeves is up. If you're wearing a suit, you want to show a little bit of cuff under the suit. You can't do it. You have to have the band sticking out. And if it's underneath, it's quite hard to, which is a bit tricky. And the other thing I think when you're wearing it, you notice this one because it's quite rigid. When you're typing and it's sitting on your wrist, you feel it. So you're often feeling like I should take it off and put it to one side when I'm typing on a keyboard. But it is fairly ergonomic, just not quite so comfy as the Vivo Fit.
This one's not waterproof, right?
That one's not waterproof, so you've got to leave that on the side.
See, again,
it's water resistant. You can wear it in the shower, but you can't swim with it.
Okay. So in terms of, so it doesn't track if you go swimming. What does it track?
So again, this will track. It's kind of standard movement, and it's converted into Nike's version of movement, which they call the fuel point. So you can see your steps and calories as well, but they also convert it into the fuel points. They've improved the algorithm. So one of the things with the first Fuelband is you weren't able to kind of use it and track things like yoga and activity where you basically weren't moving your arms around. So they've improved that, and you can now pair it with an app and tell it when you've done an hour's worth of yoga, and the statistics should be more accurate. Okay.
And then so the fuel points.
Yes.
Do you think, are they good points? I find what's the point of the fuel point? Just tell me if I've burnt this amount of calories and I can get that into my brain.
Yeah.
Have they ever said like a fuel point is X amount of calories?
No. Essentially what the fuel point is aimed at doing is about kind of creating a level playing field for people doing different activities. So you can, if you do an hour's yoga and I've gone and played 90 minutes football, and we want to argue over who's been the most active and put in the most effort, now the fuel point kind of levels that playing field and we can compare our activities.
Right, okay.
And, there's a good reason for that. They want to show that you need to be active during everyday life and not just doing kind of sports. In a social environment, that's brilliant as well. And the Nike Fuelband SE is a really sort of social thing. It connects very well with the Facebook community and the Nike Plus community.
Yeah.
So you can share your workouts and you can compete with people and create groups.
People love that with fitness as well, or tracking and moving. They love their bragging rights of I've done X amount of miles today, or I've done X amount of hours of...
Exactly. If you're in a football team, you could get all the people in your football club together into one group if they've all got the fuel band, and you can see who's been training the hardest during the week before the match on Saturday. And that kind of functionality is really nice.
Yeah.
And the fuel points, I get that. It's kind of a good thing for that. If you're just using it on your own, though, and you're just hitting yourself, after a while, I think it does become... can feel a little bit futile.
How easy is it to get fuel points? So say if you had it on all day, but you didn't actually do any training, but you just kind of walked up and down the stairs, walked up the stairs instead of took the lift, or how would you achieve your goal then?
Yeah, you do see them clocking up, and I think as with all of these things, you do find yourself when you first start using it, you're sitting at a bus stop and you look down and you see you haven't got near your goal yet, and you will get up and walk to the next bus stop.
Yeah.
That novelty can wear off, and then it's all about whether or not you've got the willpower to carry on doing it. At the end of the day, all these things will work, but it's you.
Yeah.
Versus fitness.
Yeah. Doing star jumps or just lifting your arms up and down, you ain't going to get very far.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people though will say at the end of they'll get to the end of the evening, they're just about to get into bed, and they see they're about 30 points off, and they will be running around their bedroom trying to tick it over so they get that nice little flash that goes on when you hit your goal.
Does the man still dance?
He does, yeah. Well, you get the little animations, which are quite cool.
That's why I used to get my field points, just to see the little man.
Yeah. It's good motivation.
The app, so that's not an Android, it's only iOS.
Yes, which is it's a downside of Nike Plus, and it's a bit of a frustration with some of their kit. They tend to bring out the Android apps sort of with a fair amount of delay. The app itself on iOS is brilliant.
Yeah.
It's classic. It's really easy to use. There is a lot of cool social functionality in there.
Okay.
It's easy to share. It's very well designed, intuitive, and there's a lot of information there. I think it's well presented. Yeah.
Is it different to the one before? Is it kind of they've improved the app?
They have improved the app. So one of the things they've brought in is groups, so you can create groups, but also sessions. So if I'm going to do an hour's yoga, I can tell the app that I'm doing an hour's yoga, and then it'll calculate my activity and add sort of a layer of accuracy that you weren't getting before. So it has been improved.
So good mass market brand then.
Yeah.
And it's kind of got cool points as well.
Yeah.
You'd have to say.
That one's probably the coolest of them all, I would say. Yeah.
And it's like people know about the Nike Fuelband SE. If you've got it on, they know you've got it on.
Yeah. And if I was to say one thing that's best for it, it's that social side of things. If you want to operate with a fitness band in a community and have other people help motivate you, then that's really good from a social point of view.
Okay. So battery life, will you get through a day with that?
You can get through a day with that, but you will need to charge it at some point. And that's the thing. You need to remember to pick it up and put it back on.
Yeah.
Often you'll do that. You go, I'll put it on the charge when I'm jumping in the shower in the morning.
Yeah.
It's very easy to leave the house without it.
Yeah. So it's nowhere near the previous one, the Garmin VivoFit?
No.
Nowhere near a year?
No. I mean, you're not nowhere near a year. And actually that is a problem. And once you've broken up that cycle of use, actually you start to feel, why am I doing this?
Yeah. And did you find it annoying having to plug it in, like with the USB? Because that was a bit of, I found out, because I had the original one, it was a bit annoying.
I don't like things that have a weird separate USB cable with its own little dock. No, I think that's a bad thing. The good point with a Fuelband though is that you can actually plug it into the USB directly on your computer if you need to charge it whilst at work. So that's a bonus. Some of them don't do that.